So I'm Lonali Rodrigo, I'm a fashion designer, and what I love to do is to tell a story or a message through what I design. So before I go on to my story, I would like to just take you through a different story of a small example of a t-shirt, something that we all have and we can all relate to. So the t-shirt story starts from somewhere in Africa or China in a cotton farm. So we will put water, energy and a little bit of fertilizer and grow cotton, spin it into yarn and then send it off to a textile manufacturing country, which is like China, high-tech, high industrial pollution, water pollution, air pollution. They also get down fibers such as spandex, nylon and synthetics, mix it with the cotton and then they make a nice textile. And countries like us, we make finished products. So we bring down the textile and also some trims like buttons, zips, labels, tags, tapes and even the polybag. We bring down all these, we cut and sew. We have a lot of waste ending up at this process. And we nicely pack and we send it off to a store somewhere in US or Europe. So you will come and have a look at the t-shirts, the colors, the trends, and then buy a t-shirt. So is this the end of this t-shirt story? Not exactly. So we will wear it once, twice, weekly, monthly, and then probably we'll go through 100 washes or 1,000 washes. And one day we will feel like, okay, we don't need this t-shirt anymore. So that's the end of the story. Not exactly. We will probably in Sri Lanka will think, okay, we will give it to another person, to our younger sister or something and try to expand the life. Probably in US they have all clothes that they collect and send it off to charity in third world countries. So probably it will end up again in a country like Africa. Some creative people, they will turn this t-shirt into a bag, or they will keep the holes and make more holes and make it more trendy so that you can wear it for the next 5 years also. So some people do that also. So this will expand the life, but one day it will end up in the landfill. This is where the story ends, and you just think how many t-shirts we have in our closet and what's going to happen to all these t-shirts. So this is the t-shirt story, and we all fit into this as consumers. But in my story, I fit into as a designer in Sri Lanka, where it's a manufacturing hub and a country that inherits a lot of jobs. So this is what's the opportunity for me, tons and tons of waste. So this comes from the apparel industry, and this is a great opportunity. And the journey, the way I started this journey is, way back when I was in college, I had to do a project about come up with an eco-friendly collection, come up with a theme. So my theme was Sri Lankan apparel industrial waste trims. So that's why I have like zips around my neck, and the top is made out of zips. The skirt is made out of brand labels, but someone else's brand labels, because that's what was available in the industry for me. So I did a nice skirt. I submitted the skirt, but the judges, it was a competition, so the judges said, no, you can't use someone else's waste just because labels just because it's waste. So I was quite sad, but then my task was to go find something alternative. So I went to the industry again, looking for some other alternative, and I found care labels, size labels, and made in Sri Lanka labels. So I thought, okay, fine, then there you go, I have something to use. But then I asked the people, how much do you have? They said, no, we don't have waste as such because we use it for the next order. And I was like, okay, so there's no waste. So they didn't have waste for me to make a whole skirt full of labels. So I had one other place to go to a label manufacturing factory. So I tried that also. I went to a label manufacturing factory. Luckily there are few in Sri Lanka. So I went there, I just wanted to look something for my skirts. I was digging into all the waste bins and trying to find some kind of a waste. And I went into the label weaving section, and then I saw this lovely furry looking string going right across the label weaving machine and going right into a bin, and it was this. So I asked them what this is. So they said this is the selvage of a label, how they label, this is the selvage of it. And I asked them what do they do with it. They said you just put tar because it's someone else's brand label, but you can't see the brand as such. But they put tar and then they burn it. So the next question for me was, how much do you get? So they weave about 3 meters per hour. They had about 5 to 6 machines. So per day they maybe do about 100 meters and probably 500 meters, and in the end they have like tons and tons of this every day. They just burn it. So this was the perfect alternative for my skirt, and the skirt ended up looking like this. So it was colorful, bright, and this was the best alternative I could find from the industry. And this was not just made into a skirt, then I developed a whole collection of dresses and bags and accessories. It was also showcased at the Sri Lanka Design Festival and was also sent to London Aesthetica wedding sessions. And people really admired the fact that I found this particular raw material, which was just a waste but turned into a pretty looking garment. And this kind of makes the statement, says the story directly. And this was something else I found. So that was the first waste. That was opportunity 1. So this is the second opportunity. So want to guess what this is? Anyone? This is actually invisible bra straps. These are also called Mobilon tapes or silicone tape in the industry. They use it for hanging tags as well as shoulder tape. So this is also again was hard to find because it's normally it comes in tape, and when you keep it in stone under a wrong temperature, it gets sticky, and they take it out, it all gets, you can't use it. They call it damage and they just throw it. So I spent so much of time to get this into this pretty dress. So that's the second opportunity. But there's so many opportunities with waste. But to turn this waste into a nice product, you need people. So you have a look at this video. It will show you the people and the waste, the connection. Next, please. Next slide, please.
saw, there were collars, there were waist yarn, there were waist bias binding. If you're in the industry, you will probably know these words. There's tons of waste. I mean, we have such a growing apparel industry, and we don't think about what ends up in our own land at the end. We send so much garments abroad, but we are ended up with some waste. So these are the people who turn waste into nice, fashionable statement pieces. This one community in Gampaha, Divulapiti area, a weaving village, which I work with in upcycling, and also another center in Malawi, Mullathil, north of Sri Lanka. They have a knitting center, and also a few other Palmyra centers in Jaffna. So there are also other individuals, housewives, the domestic sewing people who I work with, because that's the story I want to tell out of my garments. It's one of a kind, and it tells the story. So I'll show you some other examples. So this is a pant. You spend so much time and energy to stitch a cargo pant, from fly to waistband, the loop to a pocket. You spend so much, and if you have a little tiny damage or a reject or a stitch damage, you'll just cut the waist and throw it. And it's just sad to see how they throw these things. So I turn them into hats. I also turn them into shoes, and also a book with a pocket, because pocket is made for a purpose to put your stuff. So why do you have to throw it out? You just apply it into a book. You can put your purse, put your phone, hang your keys, and use it as a bag and a book. So this is the waste combined with people and intelligent design. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.